Good evening, guys. Welcome to another video, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to hang out with me here on my channel. So, if you're new to the channel, what's up? My name is Chris. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you stick around. And this is my 92 Integra with normally has a K28-2 swap. So, the topic of today's video is Robert, aka HushPerformance, is coming over here right now. I've been at his shop all day helping him out to free up a few hours because he's a very, very busy guy, and he was gracious enough to set aside a few other things he had going on to come over here and help make me some custom brake lines because I need some. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing here. Yeah, I'll just kind of more or less explain when he gets here, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We'll let him explain it because obviously he knows what he's doing. But yeah, it's just gonna be custom front brake lines. I already have steel braided lines going to the calipers all the way around, but we're tapping into the rear lines and making new front lines and using an EK prop valve, I believe it is. So that says enough right there. So yeah, let's wait for him to hear. Let's wait for him to get here and let's get to it.
Back again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of How to Yard.
Long video series.
Today we're gonna tag team. Tag team as in he's gonna take a video, I'm gonna take a video, and maybe we'll have a contest to see how many views ours gets. Of course, if I get more or he gets more, one of us wins. What do we win? I don't know. Maybe a high five.
You can buy me lunch.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing a brake line kit to the DA. I don't have a brake line kit for the DA only because I don't have a DA to test one on, you know, and doing stuff remotely isn't what I really want to do. But Chris is working on his car and it's here and it's apart, so well, let's give it a shot. So I have a kit that I had out for the EK using the EK style prop valve. It's a compact prop valve, and we're going to keep that valve inside the bay. So this is going to be a relatively easy kit to install. It become quite popular on my site because you don't have to bring the prop inside the car. You don't have to really drill any holes. This one we're going to have to a little bit because of the rear brake lines, but ideally this is supposed to be as easy as we can get it. So the lines are going to basically be in the bay, but low on the lower cross member using this EK style prop, which we'll show you. It's flat. Now, some may get dogmatic about the proportioning. You can find the right proportioning valve of a 99 Civic Si, and that's made for a rear disc. This prop valve may or may not have come off of that. I'm sure it wasn't. If you're dogmatic about that, this might not be the kit for you if you can't find the proper proportioning, which I believe is going to be like a 40-40. In my experience, from the type of driving that we do, it's just on the streets. It isn't. I haven't noticed that it was that critical. So
yeah, Brian said it's really not a difference anyway. So
there we go. And well, let's get started. So we got our brake line crimper here, and then of course we got all our fittings that's in this toolbox here. So I got pretty much everything I need. I still have to test the lines back at the shop, so we won't finish off with it being installed in the car, but we're gonna develop a kit for the DA using this style, see how it works out. Maybe Chris will like it, and if he doesn't, he'll just take it off and throw it away. I'm sure that's what he does, huh? Okay, we'll get started.
Right. Yeah.
So now I have to do all that all over again, you know?
Yeah. With your little guy, with your mic that's bigger than your camera.
Yeah, that's how the ladies like it.
But they like the hair.
Well, see, they like the hair too. A lot of guys like the hair.
You can't say ladies anymore because word on the street is you're...
I'm married. I'm a married man. She put a nose ring in it.
She liked it, so she put a ring in it?
Yeah.
So Robert already just found out where he's going to be placing the prop valve, and it's going to look pretty good because it's nice and tucked out of the way. Let me show you here. So this is the prop valve here. Like I said, it's like an EK style Civic, and since I've already got my bracket in, we're making sure that it's out of the way. He's faced it backwards, and we're going to basically run the lines around the steering rack here and just right up into here. And then obviously there's the two lines, one on each shock tower, goes through there, and then going to tap into these rear lines here somewhere. But nonetheless, it's going to be out of the way. It's going to look good.
Think so? Digging it. what I say.
Good stuff.
This is the braided line that we're going to be using to build this line with. They come in 1,000-foot spools. As you can see, I've done quite a few lines. I don't have a whole lot of line left. I was hoping that I would run out like halfway through his project, so then I could just quit and leave him empty-handed. No, I'm just teasing.
Where'd you go back in with these fancy things? Like?
Well, this actually took me 3 years to get Breakquip to sell to me. You know, they only sell to dealers. Only dealers can have these. These are actually DOT crimp. Oh, they're called dies, crimp dies. These are DOT. These are DOT approved, not approved, like registered. DOT registered crimp dies. So they're actually registered to me. It's like a big deal. I'm registered with DOT. It's kind of like a big deal. So there's like brake lines that are out there that people make, but maybe they're not DOT approved. So when and I also test them up to 3,000 PSI. Also, that's part of the approval. That way we can make sure that the lines are going to be fail-safe. It's kind of the idea.
So that way we don't do my brake lines, get my motor put in, and then first canyon run I lose all brakes, and then it's his fault and I'm dead.
Having worked with these primitive tools, there's, who is it? There's the doctor on Star Trek. When he's always complaining, you know, about having to work under these conditions. Or maybe that wasn't him. I don't know.
Because of a corded drill?
Yeah. Yeah. But it works really well.
Uh-huh. Not so primitive, is it?
Oh, no, it's still primitive. Okay.
Alright, so right now Robert is drilling holes for the rear brake lines. We're not having the lines come in the firewall, the rear brake lines. We're going to cut them inside the cabin and then fold the factory hard lines over onto the flat where he just drilled. Sorry for the autofocus noise, I have it on autofocus right now. But stupid lens. So yeah, he's drilling those holes because we're gonna have the new lines run in, obviously over off by the subframe, go through the firewall, and then re-flare them into the factory hard lines inside the firewall right there. So right now I'm trying to find a step bit or a unibit. And thank you, Dad, for buying random stuff all the time. Saves us a trip.
Wow, it's never been opened. So, what do are you gonna chew this open or what?
I got a razor blade.
This is just practical application from theory. So we have a theory drawn out, how we think we want it. We apply that practically and then we find out whether that works or not. And then we make adjustments from there, because what looks good on paper doesn't always look good in real life. You know, kind of like when you did your hair this morning.
It was nice. Like a fiberglass resin.
Yeah. So, like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys.
Where were you pointing the camera?
I don't know if you guys heard or saw where Robert was pointing, but this is where obviously the brake line's gonna be coming down, running back behind here. I know I'm kind of blocking the light a bit, but
yeah.
You guys get the gist of it, and then it just runs back here behind the steering column, right into the prop valve right there, and then we'll have the one more line, which will be more towards the firewall. Obviously you can't really see it right here, but that is that. And then there's going to be the two fittings down there, which you cannot see because they are in the shadows, but yeah, two lines coming here, two lines going over there, and then we'll have the two lines going to each shock tower, and it will be well, and it's clean, it's out of the way.
So this is the fitting that we're going to use for all of the lines that are going into this proportioning valve right here. Okay, this actually reduces costs, you know, because there's not a multiple fittings here. It's just it's one, but you can see that it's straight, and we need to go 90 into this. So I'm going to actually send a tool you're going to use to bend this, and what's cool about that is you can bend it however you want. So if you didn't want it here and you wanted to move the prop valve within the distance that these lines will reach, you can bend it at a certain angle however you want it, so it's form-fitting. I think that's cool, and especially since I'm going to send you a tool, you'll be able to do that yourself, and then you'll also be able to have a tool to do something like that with later. So I think that's how it's going to work.
Ready.
Okay, we got the 2 lines on the master done. I really liking the way that it looks. All right, they fit really well, and they're both going to end up at the prop over here, and we'll show you a little bit closer a little bit later. Right now we're going to work on the line that goes to the wheel well. Okay, so we got the line already kind of strung out, and again, I am pulling it right off the spool. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect it into the shock tower through the wheel, and we're going to connect it to where the OEM bulkhead fitting is, right here. Okay, so it's going to come with that fitting. This one right here. My hand's going to be in the way. Alright, okay. So this is where the OEM hardline comes through the wheel well, and it will connect right to this fitting here. And we're going to connect it all the way down so that we can get the length right. Make sure to try to keep the rubber, that rubber grommet. That's OEM, but we don't want anything like kind of rubbing against the steel. So keep that grommet there. WTH. That's keeping it PG.
For the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Don't want to get demonetized.
They would demonetize if I said WT the other word?
If you say it probably like 5 times.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're limited to what you can say, because it has to be PG-13, so you can't have like say the F word like 10 times, but you can say it like 4 or 5 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Because somebody else said it in my video, and I was like, I wonder if I should keep that in there or not. I kind of wanted to. It was appropriate, but I was curious about that.
Yeah, I usually just cut the split second out anyway.
I see.
Jump clip it.
Very wise. All right, it's attached. All right, see, so here it is. These 2 lines here are for the master to the prop, and this right here is for the brake. All right, so it's gonna kind of come around the same area. We'll make it look much cleaner once we finish this install. But this is the line that goes to that wheel, and it's going to connect to this port here. This one. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. And yeah, there it is. And we're basically going to repeat the process on the other side, and I think we'll come back when we do the rear lines to the firewall, and then again kind of show you what it's going to look like inside the car.
Alright, so Robert just finished up with the engine bay side of the brake line installation, and just like he just said, right off the bat you can't see really any lines off the firewall at all. So normally the factory hard lines come off the master cylinder here and are 4 friggin' ugly lines that run across all through there and through there. So now we just got these little lines that come off right here and then trail down behind the steering column, and then we'll have to we'll have to bend those right there when we go to install them, and then the other 2 just run right back down there and to those fittings right there. So really clean installation, and he even said you can do this inside the bay. So my car is pretty much a test car for the DA chassis for sure, and he said it'll work with the ES pretty much identical. So if any of you guys want this, once he's all done up here, he's just making the measurements for the inside lines where we got to cut and whatnot. But once this is all done, this is all going to be available on his website, which is HushPerformance.bigcartel.com. So if you guys want to do this, then you are fully capable of doing it yourselves. The tricky part would just, like he said, be the hard lines on the inside. But yeah, so this is all just nice clean, tucked, and well, technically like untucked, tucked type stuff, because it's like fully tucked would be everything pretty much inside the firewall, which I didn't want to do. It's more expensive, and if I have like a leaky prop valve or something, or a brake line issue or whatever, I don't want to have to rip my dash out to fix all that. So this is ideal for me, and it's clean, and it's easy for him. So it's obviously daylight now. It's actually been a couple days. Robert had already made the lines 99% of the way, just had to flare into the factory hard lines on the passenger floor, but he had to go and pressure test the lines because that's part of his process, whatever, because he's DOT approved or whatever. So all the lines are all good. Now we're just gonna be doing the installation. For the full like detailed installation, you can check out his video. Mine's more of an overview, but if you guys want to see the process of me getting the motor in, because it's this far, then be sure to check out the next video, which I'm also filming today, but finishing this video today as well. So right now we're just gonna make sure we get the one piece going down to the prop valve, the line we get bent, hook up the others, and then flare the hard lines inside the cabin and hook those up, and then it's just a matter of tightening it all down and then bleeding it. These are going to be my lines that run right off the master. Robert sends instructions with everything, so we're figuring it out now to make your job easier later on. But I mean, for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. One, you can see this one is straight, whereas the other line, which is right here, has this curve to it. So this goes on the front of the master, the other one goes on the rear. I'm just masking this off with the trash bags, that way I don't drip any brake fluid. The brakes haven't been touched in like 2 weeks, but you never know. I'm playing it safe because that's the whole reason I painted this in the first place, is because brake fluid ruined everything. So we're gonna hook this up. I'll set you guys up on a time lapse, get it done quick, and we'll catch up with you guys once it's pretty much ready to do the flaring.
Alright, we're getting ready to make our first bend in the hoses here. They come straight. You're going to bend them according to how you need them bent. In the diagram that I'm going to send you, it'll show you what lines go to where on the proportioning valve. Once you follow the diagram, you'll know where it goes, and then bend it according to how you have it placed, because it could be different based on how you want it set up.
And if you sweet talk him, Robert might even make a house call.
I'm gonna stop doing that. Matter of fact, that was one thing I said I'm gonna stop doing.
House calls?
Yeah.
So after the grueling process, not so much, the brake lines are done. Everything is good to go. We just have to bleed them, which Robert's going to come back tomorrow because one of my lines, he didn't like the way it looked, so he is just going to remake it, retest it. So technically it's done, but he just wants to touch it up, so he's going to redo that. But here, let me show you what it looks like on the inside with the lines flared. I didn't film him doing it because he had his camera in the way and I didn't want to interrupt that. So here they are. Yeah, so these are obviously the new lines, using these fancy flare things into the factory lines. And he just did some fancy zip tie thing up here where they mount into the firewall, where they then come down to the prop valve right down here. Have one line running up here to the wheel well, and then have the other one going to the other wheel well, and the two coming off the master right here. So it's all tucked down there, but this one is the one he wanted to clean up. He wanted to shorten it just a hair because he over-guessed it, and then yeah, that's pretty much it, but it's all good. So he already took off, so I didn't really get to say goodbye. He'll be back in the morning, so you guys won't see him in this video again, but I'm gonna end this video out here. I don't want to drag it on too far because that is pretty much it. I just wanted to show you guys getting some brake lines done on this, and thank you again to Robert for hooking it up. So if you guys would like some, if you have a DA, this is a new kit, so if you have pretty much any other chassis that's already available, so I will have his Big Cartel link in the description. And if you want to follow his videos, check him out on YouTube. I will have it on the screen here. And yeah, he will have a better installation video, like detailed on this, explaining everything. But for me, I'm gonna get to work, finish putting everything in, my engine bay, my harness and all that. So if you guys enjoyed it, please leave it a thumbs up. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Do what you love, forget about the rest. Peace out.